Alright, so in this one we are going to be doing the best team build and equip guide for God Shallot. He is coming to the game as a summonable unit, and since we don't actually have a anything to precedent off of, we're going to be using this guy as our surrogates to Mr. God Shallot because he's a game original. He's also Shallot, so he would have the same equipment options, if not a little bit less than, just because he is what he is there. Just mind you that, I'm really saying this like it matters, but hey, you never know nowadays with equipments and whatever they do. Zaha, the blue one, is getting an equipment, so if that makes a difference to this, then it makes a difference. If it doesn't, which it probably doesn't, because it 99% doesn't, there you go, right? Just note that. Giblet, free to play. Don't give two shits about that. You might see this and think, wow, this is a similar vein to UGB and, Gohan Trunks video. And that's the whole point. These are two ranged units where we don't actually have ranged units in the game. The best team build for Shallot would actually just be putting Gohan Trunks alongside Shallot. And even then, you're really playing with fire here, because how are these even going to work? They probably won't be too optimal. Again, we would assume and presume that the stats for Shallot will be the same thing as typical range units, where it's heavy blast, mediocre strike, and then whatever defense is, right? You're really looking at the blast. Look at UGB here, for example. This guy is a ranged unit, and guess what? His stats are showing ranged unit. They are not showing mixed, even though he can do decent damage because he stacks overall damage and he's what he is. Within that, it's awesome. It really isn't going to be optimal for the character. So you do try to build them optimally, and this would be probably the better build for him. Now, if you actually want to get him a Z ability, that's going to, help him. You would put, like I put just before, which I really am having deja vu because I did this literally 2 seconds ago. You put Nap Jita, and then this would be your team. And this is the team you're actually trying to run a Shallot on when he was in Super Saiyan Blue anyways. And this shit was ass. So we'll get to see how that goes again. Equip-wise for Shallot, look at here, which I don't think... Oh, he will actually. Oh, no, he won't be able to run that. He won't be able to run this. He won't be able to run this, obviously. This equip here should be able to be run... Wow. Oh, wow, we can't run anything on this guy. Oh, wow, okay. We can run this at least, which is some base offenses there, obviously. With him being ranged, you can't actually run the Shenron equip here, which will give you pure blast, 18% pure, as well as base health there, so nothing too terrible. Being a Super Saiyan God should have access to Super Saiyan God equipment, which is a double pure offense equipment that you can run, so you have some pures going on, some base going on there. You probably just will optimally run this every single time, just because it is very high baselines for yourself. So equipment options are very minuscule for Super Saiyan God Shallot. Obviously fusion stuff, it'll be a little bit more, but for ranged, again, Super Saiyan God Goku equip has double offense, base health, okay. The Shenron equip is pure blast, as well as HP, as well as that equip I keep showing here is double offense, base, as well as base health. So that is just your 3. You just should be running that every time because you're going to run them on a ranged team. And from what I'm more so and mostly just finite detailing within Shallot, it would be that he is just kind of a blue card merchant. Not fully, clearly, but like his desire is blue carding within a fucking feint, within a lock-in. Like his blue card's broken. But what else will he do? So you're kind of just going for that attrition state within having the held health, getting to that blue card, popping the main, which would make the blue card presumably within all that. So there's not much to build within a team. Him being green does make it a little bit easier, and him being a Saiyan, unlike, Gohan Trunks there, not being Saiyan, you can do this within the Zenkai buff. It's going to be hazy. It's going to be weird. This is all you're really going to get. This is going to be your most consistent Zenkai buff, the most consistent bench you're going to be able to run, and most consistent team you'll be able to run is this team. Nap Jita having a crazy stock up. It's just that they really aren't as good as they used to be within Part 1, as well as pre-Part 1, being just behemoths of the game, and this would just be your bench. It would be something akin to this. You're also getting some strike attack within Red Bardock there, which clearly you don't want, but at some point you just got to accept it at that rate, and this would just be it. There's not much else to it, in my opinion, unfortunately, but this would just be it. I mean, again, you're either going to put Gohan Trunks here or to put Nappa. That's it. You could put Android 13, I guess, but then here's his abilities going to hell. There's not much else even going on at this point. And so even furthermore on that, there just isn't much you can change about it. Shallot's going to lack. It's just what happens to characters that aren't characters that are the main characters of the show. So everything goes kind of in the gutter. You can cope that there's going to be co-op equipment, there's going to be Awaken equips are going to be VP equips, so I'm sure those are going to gas him up. There even is one that's guaranteed that's dropping for him, which probably is going to be optimal. But as we look at it now, the team, if he's going to be a ranged unit, he should be Heavy Blast. It's going to be same thing as Go on Trunks, same thing as UGB, the same idea at least. So all you're doing at this point is just kind of hoping for Zaha goodness for this, that, and the other. And they do want you. They do want you, which I guess I can build, which I really will regret building within building here, to run the Game Originals tag and running essentially Team Bardock, right? You would leader slot Mr. Shallot, so you do something like this, and then you'd go to Team Bardock, if I could find it here very quickly, boom, and you would run these three, which I don't have to tell you how mediocre piss-ass this would be, because Goku Bardock are underwhelming. Legend Bardock is food for a lot of units right now. He's just being a liability more than accessibility. He's looking like LF Metal Cooler right now. So you got mid LF Zenkai, you have mediocre Legend, probably like the third worst Legend right now in the game, as well as a blue card kind of Merchant, while still being, obviously good with him having the endurance and all the other effects that Shallot will have. This isn't anything optimal for the character, unfortunately. Even if you were to run base Shallot within Shallot, because you would have the 70% support from base Shallot. Again, base Shallot, I've seen him get one shot. I've seen Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 2. Every form of Shallot get one shot by like a green Broly. He just transformed, and he just did the blue card that he does, and then boom, 100 O's. So like, even there, where you're trying to glaze, it's like, okay, let's just put this team, and it's like, wow, we can do something. No, you really can't, because at that point, you're not even running a team. You're running an amalgamation of mid, and you're just hoping for your new unit to carry everything, which there's no consistency factor within that. So again, you're just hoping for Zaha to be a demon god, which, how the fuck can you have that expectation? You can't. You're just going to kind of fucking hope and cope and want that. And you're going to hope for range units to drop in this game, or range units get Zenkais and blah, 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 blah. Because all we're doing right now is just sitting here waiting. That's all we can do with range units. You can't do much. UGB is being run on teams, like I mentioned in the last video of the Go on Trunks, where it's going to be melee units. He's running with Broly who's melee and other Broly who's melee, and guess what? He's just getting Zenkai Glaze, so it's actually working out because he's stacked overall damage inflicted, and he's just kind of getting an anomaly situation. Being a fusion, being whatever. Just gets an anomaly. Him being red really saves him, because red Broly's red, right? So you have the Zenkai Glaze for both, and you can validate, just movies bench, blah, blah, red, go over there. This is not that. This is going to be a dilemma for you, and you don't really have anything to kind of cope and save you at this point, because neither of these units really have anything. And if you want to build anything within any of this, that's even worse than probably any of this already, you're going to try to build a fusion team. And I don't have to tell you how bad Vegito is against TGB, for one, because TGB exists in the game still. Mind you, he fucking is here. And I also don't have to remind you that Gogeta's frail, so you're going to wait for Shallot to be your merchant, as well as your safety, as well as your everything. There just isn't anything to these rosters inherently for themselves, and you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot building these units on any team right now, because there's just better teams that are already out there. We'll see how it goes. It's going to look a little bit hairy moving into this within these two new units for themselves on their roster setting. I would say Trunks and Gohan definitely look as individually a very good unit at least, so you can make something work there. You can make some more. Again, this is more strike-based, so now you're hurting your UGB, you're hurting your Shallot, but what do you do? What do you do? You don't do shit! Shallot's already pissing me off, and he's not even in game, and he's... Hope this helps.